Hey lovelies, it's Heather here. I know I don't even know how many days I've probably skipped not putting a video up. But I'm trying to get to where I'm getting back on top of it. It's been exhausting. Finally got everything moved in. Eddie, the guy that came and helped me out, one of my friends, I guess you'd say, even though I've said that I don't believe in friends because this day and time, the way that the world works and everything, a 19-year-old saying that, yeah, he'll help me move my furniture if I sleep with him. I mean, Jesus Christ, and so I'm just like, whatever. And I never said to my landlord that I was moving out. And in all honesty, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll see where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm getting my stuff down here because it needs to be down here and everything. And she starts contacting my family and pretty much barking orders at me for as far as I'm concerned, the way that I take it. And it's like, you need to turn in the keys. I need the keys by Monday morning. Monday morning, I'm taking over the apartment. You can't leave your animals down there in the apartment. I'm going to get you for desertion. I'm going to get you for cruelty to animals. I'm going to have you arrested. I'm going to, what was it? I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, And, oh, that's what it was. I logged into my Messenger on my original Facebook account today. It's the first time I've been logged into it in a few days, and there's a message on there, and it says, you can't leave the animals in the apartment. That's against the law. I'm going to have you arrested. The police will go in there and take the animals. If the animals bite them, the police will shoot your dogs, and then you will go to jail for it. Like, Jesus Christ, So anyways, so last night I finished cleaning as best as I could, even though, yes, it was Monday, but I had until today to turn in the damn keys because my rent is due on the 5th. Today is the 5th. And so I cleaned till 9 o'clock last night and went ahead and turned in the keys. I took videos of the apartment the way that I left it. I went out to Walmart and bought 2 sets of new Venetian blinds because my puppy had broke the ones, Clarabelle, she was 4 months old whenever we moved in. She'd broke the ones whenever we moved in. I cleaned the oven. I left the tub dirty to a degree. I left her, what was it? She's got a plunger and a toilet brush and an ice box that goes in the fridge that I had my own of whenever I moved in, so I just took hers and set it out on the porch. And I was going to clean them out and put them up. Instead, I just left them in the tub, like, with dirt, because I was going to wash them, but she wasn't giving me enough time to clean the apartment. So, whatever. I just said, fuck it. She wants to act the way she's acting. Whatever. But in all honesty, I was planning on staying there. Because I got my last paycheck from work, and when I got it, it was just 3 days ago. And in 3 days, because of running back and forth and taking Eddie home, and he lives quite a ways away, and then bringing him back and taking him back and back and back and back and trying to figure out for 3 damn days how to get these last few pieces of furniture off of here because we're both so exhausted. He don't listen well to me. No offense towards him or whatever, but he just, and it's not necessarily that he don't listen well good towards me. It's just we have 2 different ways of doing things. And so I'll be like, let's pick it up. And he's like, let's scoot it, this way. And I'm like, no, let's pick it up, and like, it's just. And so the last few pieces or whatever, I actually left and went down to Jennifer's to take her back her car because she needed it yesterday. And my grandmother, because I'm living with her now and it's her son, that's my dad or whatever. And so to help his mom and everything, so that way she wouldn't have to pay another day on the truck, he come down while I was gone because I am not going to see him or my mother unless it's in court. I'm not going to speak to them. I'm not going to have anything to do with them until I get my daughter back. And so, anyways, he come and Eddie stayed here and they got the rest of the furniture off the moving truck. And they did that yesterday. But I was planning on trying to stay in my apartment, maybe even possibly finish up my lease, or find somebody to finish up my lease for me, because I looked into that and you can do that as long as you make sure that they have a background check and all that, and that they have a job and they're reliable, kind of like you would if you're a landlord. Like, are you going to be a good enough tenant? And so you can have somebody come in and fill your lease and all that. And I was going to do that, but I was going to try to pay this month and actually stay there, and quite possibly just buy an air mattress and sleep on an air mattress. And that's another reason that I left my pets down there after I got the majority of my furniture out, was because I was planning on staying there. But the landlord wants to start texting me and be like, get your pets out of here. You can't do that. That's cruelty to animals and all this other kinds of shit. So it's just been hellacious. So that's the reason I've not been able to sit and make videos, and I've been exhausted. I've been exhausted from moving. I have literally anywhere from 25 to 30 bruises on my body right about now. I'm just tired. But the biggest thing of me being tired is that my grandmother talks about everything and worries about everything and keeps saying things on repeat. And then Eddie does too. And I got on to Eddie kind of about it. It was funny because I was like, Eddie, please, when I say no, that we're not going to do this, or that it's not today that it's going to happen, then we don't need to worry about it anymore. And that's with my grandmother too. My grandmother kept, storage unit, storage unit, storage unit, storage unit. Well, before I moved my stuff down here, she's like, are you going to bring your stuff here or storage unit? Well, the biggest goal that I see is to save money. So what would be the best option for as far as, getting your stuff someplace? Someplace free, which is here, or storage unit, which costs money, So it's like, no, I'm going to bring it here. Okay, and that was the game plan. But still, him and her, but especially her, the whole day, all these days, we was moving storage unit, storage unit, storage unit, storage unit. We're going to get a storage unit. Let's look into the storage unit, storage unit, storage unit. I mean, I swear to God, if storage unit could be a blown up word in balloons in front of me and I had a BB gun, I would love to shoot the word storage unit, because I'm tired of hearing it. That's how, maddening it was. Because I'm like, right now we have a truck parked out here that costs money every day that we have it. And we need to get this shit off the truck. So we save money not paying on the truck. So if we're trying to save money not paying on the truck, why are we going to spend more money to have the truck backed out while it's heavy? Because the mud out here is horrible. Why are we going to pay money to have that done? Then to go over here and put it in the storage unit. And then you're going to have a monthly bill, And then my grandmother's like, oh, well, once the monthly bill's, taken care of and all that, we'll only have to have the storage unit for a few months. How is that possible? Oh, well, we'll get your cousins eventually to move stuff down. We can't even get them to come move stuff from literally right outside into the door. How are we going to get them to come down to drive stuff? So it's like, no, that ain't going to work. Oh, so it was all just a big hassle, but it got taken care of to the best of the abilities, to the best of everything. Same going for me and Eddie cleaning the apartment. Eddie helped me clean the apartment. Eddie helped me move the furniture. Eddie was my wingman, all fucking week, basically. Anybody that needs, help moving, that lives in North Georgia, if you can pick him up, literally, because he can't drive because he's epileptic, but he's your go-to. Literally, he will work his ass off. He will do the work. He will be there to the best of his ability. Yeah, he talks quite a bit, but that's just his personality. But other than that, he's your go-to. Didn't expect anything from me. My grandmother actually paid him a little bit, but didn't expect anything from me. So, really good, really cool, and everything. He's just a really good person. But, anyways, Lord. What else was I going to say? Oh, that's right. Not yesterday, but the day before, I literally was sitting here in a panic because we done had the truck 4 damn days. I only wanted to have the truck 2 days, 3 days max. Turned into a 4th day. And I'm like, okay, 4 days max. That's all it's going to be. That's all I'm going to have. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, who can I get to help me? Who can I get to help me? Well, my grandmother calls one of my cousins And this is the cousin that smarted off to me on Facebook a while ago and was like, if you's going through what I'm going through, you wouldn't be sitting there complaining about what you're complaining about. He's going through a divorce. So that gives me no right to complain about losing custody of my child, temporary custody of my daughter, supposedly. Yeah, sure, okay, Like, I've been through a separation, honey. Were you there for me? Did you feel pity for me? Did you feel sorry for me? No, you didn't. Oh, I lost a parent to my child, being part of my child's life. Her dad's never been part of her life. Were you there for me through that? Oh, no, you wasn't. Like, what big bad thing have you had happen in your life up until recent, the past 4 years? And what I mean by that is his dad passed away, my uncle, and now his wife's left him. But before that, what did you have that was major life experiences that was so horrible that you had to go through and nobody was there for you and nobody was supportive? Sweetheart, 10 years ago, the father of my child backed out of my child's life and had nothing to do with her. And I went through that shit by myself on an emotional stance. Nobody helped me, nobody cradled me, nobody all poor babied me. Nobody gave a shit. Then I got married. Then my fucking husband cheated on me. Then he abandoned me and my kid. Nobody was there for me through that. Nobody babied me. Oh, poor baby. Oh, okay. Oh, I feel sorry for you. And then here I am bitching about my kid, losing my kid, and my kid being gone, and how desperate I feel, like insane and everything. And his mom says something to me along the lines, and this was like 8 months ago, I guess, or whatever, about how she loves me. And I'm like, you don't love me because you're not here for me. What do you do for me when shit hits the fan and when I'm like desperate? Like, you don't do hardly anything for me. Like, she's came and had 2 conversations with me and my dad and my mom in the past when we've been arguing. But what has she really done for me? She didn't help me teach me to drive. Jennifer done that. Nobody in my family helped to teach me to drive. Jennifer did that. A complete and total stranger that I've only known for a little over a year helped me to get my license, and I'm 30 years old. So anyways, so I'm sitting here in a panic 2 days ago, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get this furniture off here. Fuck, how am I gonna get this furniture off here? And I literally go outside, and, like I've said before, it's like depression, but I don't even believe depression exists. I believe it's just sadness. You're sad because the circumstances of your life have been shitty. They've been really, really, really shitty. So, of course, you're sad. So, anyways, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? Because, this is also, let's see, or maybe it was yesterday. Fuck, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, today I was at Jen's. I had to watch Elika. Yesterday, they moved that. I got here. It was yesterday. And then the day before. Okay. It was yesterday morning, I think. Fuck, I don't know which morning it was. Everything's just been a blur right about now. For as far as moving. I'd have to really sit and think about it. But anyways, I was like, you know what? My kid fucking hates me because I tried to go see my kid because I thought my kid was upset because she thought that I was going to jail or that her pets was being taken because the landlord had called and upset that side of the family, and then even called here and talked to my grandmother and upset her. And then my grandmother told me. And so I'm like, you know what? My kid fucking hates me. I'm just going to get this shit moved out of here. I'm just going to get this shit off the goddamn truck. And as soon as it's off the goddamn truck, the first night I'm home, I'm just going to kill myself. And be like, fuck it. Be like, now you got all the stuff that you want because that's all this family cares about, apparently. Because apparently I mean nothing to nobody. I don't mean shit to nobody. Everybody wants to shit talk me. Everybody wants to be like, she's such a horrible this. She's such a horrible that. She's horrible, horrible, horrible. She never does anything good enough. So poof, I'm gone. And now you figure out what you want to do with the stuff and the pets. Because that's all you've really cared about me and my life anyways, is if you can borrow my stuff, or if you can see my pets, or if you can just have them to shit talk about. And be like, oh, did you see the way that she treated her pet? Oh, did you see the way that she treated her cat? Oh, did you see the way that she treats her stuff and she don't take care of her stuff? I mean, that's all that everybody seems to want to do, is sit around and bitch about people. So anyways, I was just like, fuck it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like desperate, and I'm like, who can I call that's going to be nice to me? Who can I call for help, and all this. So I wrote that damn 19-year-old again and was like, are you seriously not going to help me move this damn furniture? Like, you're 19 years old. You play fucking football. Like, I mean, seriously, dude. Like, I will pay you $20, plus that includes me going and picking your ass up and taking your ass back home. I will pay you $20 to come lift 5 pieces of furniture. And as a matter of fact, you don't even have to lift 5. Me and Eddie could have got 2, which we did or end up doing, and I'll just leave you with 3. Just lift the 3 heaviest pieces of furniture, please, for $20. Please do this for me. So I write him and I'm like, you're seriously not going to help me? And he don't even respond because he wants me to fuck him. That's what he wants. And I'm like, no. And he's like, or $35. Well, for $40, or I think that's what it was, or at least that's what I understood, it was a day to keep the truck. So if I'm going to pay somebody $35 to lift 5 pieces of furniture, why not just pay that and have somebody maybe do it tomorrow, or maybe me be rested up enough to do it tomorrow, because me and Eddie are the ones that got the furniture on the goddamn truck. So I'm sure with a decent amount of rest, if we could have got one in all these days, we would have been able to get the shit in here. So anyways, I'm just like, fuck it. And there's this guy that reached out to me a month ago, and his name's Kevin. And it was like a positive page that I've liked on Facebook, positive quotes and all this. And they try to do inspirational things, but, I mean, sometimes they're a little darker, I guess. And so they showed this YouTube video that I've watched before, and it's like showing that death is not something to fear is what it's showing, and that death, you just need to be accepting that death is going to come, And so anyways, I've watched it before, and I've always thought it was real beautiful and real eloquently, put and everything. And so I seen it that they shared it, and I was like, oh man, and I was like, I've seen this video before. And I was like, yeah, but seeing it right about now makes me feel like death is my only friend, if I do have a friend. And I was like, because my life is shit, because my parents took my kid from me. They know how important my kid is to me. Everything that I've ever done, they're always trying to break me. I never know anybody that's proud of me when I do anything. Instead, everybody wants to shit talk and be like, you didn't do it good enough. And I'm just tired as fuck. And so I wrote that, and this guy, like 2 days later, he writes up under it, and he's like, hey, you need somebody to talk to, and I'm like, it don't matter. And he's like, well, I'll talk to you. And so when we talked, our one conversation that we had between that day and a few days ago, because we'd only had one conversation, he's just pretty much being very inspirational, and very kind. And he's like, you need to just keep trying. Don't ever give up. If you feel like giving up, call me, talk to me. I'll be here for you. I've been through some rough patches. I've been through this and that. I've been through a lot of stuff. And so if you need somebody to talk to, and all that. And so I'm sitting there like freaking out in the fucking car 2 days ago, because I'm like, how the fucking hell am I going to get this furniture off this goddamn truck? And holy shit, it's been here for so goddamn long. And my mama and Eddie are driving me crazy because they just keep talking and talking and talking. And Eddie keeps talking about the gravel. And my grandmother keeps talking about the storage unit. And then when she mentions the storage unit, then Eddie starts on the storage unit. And they don't understand that, for instance, me sitting here right now talking, making this video, is time. 18 minutes I've just been sitting here talking. And for 18 minutes, I could be doing something else. I could be doing dishes if dishes need to be done. I could be mopping the floor if the floor needs to be mopped. I could be doing other things. And so talking takes energy, time, and effort. It does. And then my dad's always had that saying, you can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. Well, apparently Eddie and my grandmother must be these people that think that they can talk and do things at the same time, multitasking. And even though multitasking does happen, and even though it's beneficial to some degree and everything, there's actually a study that has shown that when you multitask, you actually end up not doing that good of a job at the things that you're doing. And that's even like texting and driving, or, anything like that, and it becomes illegal and all this and everything because it's multitasking and you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to focus on the task at hand, and that's what I was trying to get through their heads is like, Right now, all we have to do is get the furniture off the truck and where it belongs, whether it's in the house or the buildings. We don't need to stand around talking about a storage unit or about gravel. We need to do this, And they still, inevitably, just kind of kept on and everything. But Eddie, I was able to talk to him whenever my landlord called and talked to my grandmother again for like the second or third time. And my grandmother's like, oh, she says she's going to take you to court. She's going to sue you. You're going to get arrested. She's going to make sure you get arrested, or some shit like that. And I'm just like, why are you even talking to her? I'm 30 years old. This is between me and her. And if she can't get a hold of me, how is it her business to call you up, to look up your phone number, to call Mom and look her up? Oh, but you know what? She probably didn't have to because y'all been talking to her this whole time. I mean, if my grandmother had any type of problem with somebody, like for instance, the neighbor, she's had problem with the neighbor that lives next to her because somehow something dealing with some type of relation and the guy that she was married to that lived here, and he passed away and he left her everything. But anyways, something, I don't know, it's like stepchild or something or whatever. They've bickered. They've got into fights before and arguments and back and forth and and all this and everything. So when they do that, do I get in the middle of it? Do I go over and say stuff to them? Do they holler at me? Yeah, they've tried to holler at me. They've tried to be like, hey, tell your grandmother I said. And you know what I do? I just ignore it. I don't come over here and go, they told me to tell you, and try to make her worry more. And so I don't understand why my family is so hillbilly redneck that they gotta be like, hey, so-and-so told me to tell you that you gonna get in trouble. Like you're helping them to make me upset. Who does that? And then, oh, well, I love you. I do. I love you, but I'm going to help whoever wants to make you upset and get on your nerves. But honey, I do it because I love you. That is the most backward stuff I've ever heard in all my friggin' life. I mean, for instance, that's like my damn kid. If I'm walking outside and this kid that knows my daughter says, hey, your daughter's ugly. Let me tell you, she's ugly. If somebody was to say that, you think I'm going to go to my kid and be like, hey, let me tell you, okay? I was walking the other day and so-and-so said that you're ugly. What good is that going to benefit my child? Now, granted, if my child's sitting here trying to become friends with this person because this friend is being a two-faced little snake, and my kid comes home from school one day and is like, hey, and I'll make up a name, Susie. Hey, Susie says that, she likes me and we're going to be best friends and she can really see it and she's so nice to me and this and that. Yet 2 weeks ago when I was out at Walmart and Susie knows that I'm Ava's mom and Susie came up to me and said, Ava's ugly. I just want to let you know you have the ugliest kid that I've ever seen. Okay, I'm not going to go out of my way if my kid doesn't even care who Susie is or barely even talks about Susie. I'm not going to go out of my way and be like, hey, Ava, Susie said that you're ugly. No, I'm not going to do that. But if my kid's coming home and going, oh, Susie's so nice to me and she wants to be my best friend and she really likes me and this and that, then I'm going to go, Ava, you might not want to do that because I wouldn't really trust her because I seen her 2 weeks ago, and she told me that she thought that you were ugly. So I think she's just trying to manipulate you. Yeah, then I would mention it in that instance and in that case, but not in the other case. Because in the other case, it's just going to cause my daughter more stress. And I love my kid, so I'm not going to do that to her. And I sure as hell don't appreciate anybody else doing it to her like my damn landlord did it to her. And has been doing it to her, apparently. And my family, apparently. Everybody wants to talk so that way they can cause more stress in each other's lives. Life is done stressful enough without you even having to cause it. If you need proof, look at people dying. People dying is a stressful situation. You don't have to call out the damn National Guard or whatever or wave the flags, and be like, hey, somebody died over here. somebody died. Oh my God, let me tell you. And you don't have to be like, hey, I swatted a fly and killed it and it's dead. Alert the newspaper. Like, Jesus Christ, let things be. Let it go. Like, you got to learn to not stress so much and just let things be what they are. Life is done stressful enough. You don't sit there and try to make it more hard and more stressful on people. I don't understand why people do that. I don't understand what mentality, and it has to do something with the way that, like, people sit here and there all the time, talking about how the government, and how they allow you to watch certain things and all these people that get on these conspiracy theory kicks and all that. But to a degree, we are being programmed to this type of lifestyle. And each generation even has their own thing. That's just like my grandmother, they grew up on radios, but especially the generation before her. Radios, So they're programmed to think that a radio is better than a TV. And I bet you 10, if they were still alive to this day, they would prefer a fucking radio over a goddamn TV any fucking day. Because it's a programming. It's what you're used to. And everybody likes to live in that comfort zone. And nobody likes to push outside of it. And then people like me that are like, just push outside of it. Stop being so goddamn scared. As long as you ain't breaking a law, just push outside the goddamn comfort zone. Get the fuck over it and deal with it. And everybody's like, oh, you're causing so much ruckus. Oh, God. Oh, no. You're a horrible piece of shit person. No, I'm not. I'm just not afraid to push boundaries to a degree as long as it's nothing causing anybody any harm, any pain, or anything illegal. What does it matter? But anyways, so I was sitting there freaking out about who am I going to get, how am I going to get the furniture off. And I text this Kevin guy, and I'm like, Kevin, I'm fixing to fucking kill myself. And he's like, what's wrong? And so I tell him, and he's like, you know what I would do? And he's like, if you have no one, he's like, you have no family, you have no nobody, no nothing, and I'm like, no, because he don't know the full-on story yet, because I've not spoke to him enough, because literally I hadn't known him that long. And I'll probably talk to him about it later on in like a week or two. But he's like, you literally know nobody that's going to help you. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, the only other person that I can even get a hold of is a 19-year-old. And he's saying that he wants me to have sex with him so that way he'll come and help me. And I'm like, so no, I'm pretty much screwed. And he's like, well, you know what you could do? You could call the churches. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that. Because I got to thinking when I was living here with my grandmother that these people come and pick this organ up, but they also dropped it off, if I recall correctly. But I know they came and picked it up, and they had to call somebody else because, or somebody else was late getting here or something, because, I remember somebody being here and then somebody pulling up, 30 minutes later, and then them being like, man, thanks for helping, it was so heavy and this and that, or whatever. So it was two guys, two brothers or something, but anyways, they're church people, And so whenever he said that, I was like, ding, ding, ding. Oh, yes, light, the light at the end of the tunnel. So he's like, contact the churches and see if they can help you. And he's like, and you know what? If you can't get a hold of a church to help you, he's like, call the police or the fire department. That's their job, is to be part of the community, to help the community, and explain to them that, you're at your wit's end pretty much, and probably even throw in there that, you're so stressed out, and you're battling, depression, if you will, and everything, that you're just like, I need this done. If not, I'm going to snap, And so he's like, call them, and everything. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Well, that day passed, and it got too late to do any fucking thing. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to call the fire department. Because another thing, too, is we needed somebody to back the truck out. Well, another thing, too, is they drive the fire trucks all the time. I had a 26-foot U-Haul, and so it's like, they can at least back it out on the road. That way we can drive it out. But they could probably even drive it down there and drop it off for us if we give them a little bit of money. Like $20 for driving the truck down there for us. And turning it in. And so anyways, I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. That's what I'm thinking in the back of my head. And see, he must be just as gullible and good-hearted as I am to be saying that. Because I didn't want to mention it to nobody because I thought they was just going to be like, you're stupid and people don't care. And in all honesty, I get why people say that. That's just like my mom whenever I went to counseling, or not to counseling, but I went to the school counselor when my daughter was still living at home, and I was like, hey, school counselor, we need help, me and my daughter. can you get a caseworker involved to help us out? Because I have to get my license so that way I can have my independence, so that way I can do better financially, job-wise, and all this. And instead, they didn't do shit for me, and they just let things sit there and fester. And then I sent my kid to spend the night because I'm stressed out. And next thing I know, my parents have taken temporary custody of her. And then the police officers, I call them, New Year's night, and they come there right as the ball's dropping and give me the news that my parents have taken temporary custody of my damn kid. And that's another thing, too, about my cousin Stephen wanting to be like, if you had to go through what I had to go through, because his wife left him. His wife that, in all honesty, I could tell from day one that I just didn't necessarily like her. It's not that I hate her. It's not that I think that she's a bad person. It's just, I just kind of foreseen that this wasn't going to work between him and her is the best way to word it. And I was just like, something's not going to mesh here, and eventually it's going to snap, and it's going to break, and it's going to give. And so it has, and so it's gave, and they don't get along, and now they're divorced. And so he's all upset about that, but his dad dying too, and then his mom, she's been sick with a bunch of things and stuff. But it's like, I have went to court, 3 goddamn times on Valentine's Day. I've went to court, I believe on Easter once. I got told that my kid got taken temporary custody of after I've raised her for 11 years on fucking New Year's. It's to the point, it's like, I don't even know if I should care about a holiday ever again, in all honesty, because bad shit just keeps happening, it seems like, on holidays, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, it better stop. But anyways, so back to the Kevin guy, and him being like, call the police, call the fire department, call churches. I'm like, that's a great idea, thank you so much, And he's like, no problem, and he's like, let me know how it works out, and as a matter of fact, I still gotta text him back and tell him what happened and how we ended up with my dad coming over and me being gone and Eddie here and Eddie and my dad bringing the shit in. And then even at that, they set 2 pieces that was supposed to go in the house out here on the porch, and I'm like, great, But, it is off the truck, so woohoo, yay, literally, because that is the just of it. But it's like, how the fuck to get it off the porch? Now, one of the things is my coffee table, and it's just a really heavy wood. It's real wood, or mainly real wood. It's not this pressed wood coffee table. And then it's got drawers, and I got, papers in it. So I can unload it, and then I can turn it up on its side, and then I can inch it in one day, as long as my grandmother's not saying something every 5 seconds to me. But I can get it in by myself because, hell, I basically kind of carried it in by myself a little bit. I turned it up on its side then whenever we moved it in and we bought it. As a matter of fact, I think my kid helped me. And that's the thing, too, is my kid helped me put my bed together. My kid helped me put my bed in this tiny-ass room. My kid is my kid. We're fucking, I don't know, we're just hard workers. And, that's like even hanging Christmas lights, and I used to get her to set up on my shoulders and hang stuff and everything. And we'd be like 2 cheerleaders out there, doing cheer stunts in the middle of getting stuff hung up or whatever. God, I fucking miss her so bad. But, anyways, so I'm talking to Kevin, he says that, and I'm like, okay, thanks, Kevin, thanks for your advice. So then I'm like, I know what I'm going to do, and I didn't even want to tell anybody, but they're all panicky, so I tell my grandmother, I'm like, I'm going to call the fire department, and see if they'll come out and do something. And so the next morning, I get here, after getting Eddie and everything, I get here, and I call the fire department. Well, it's this, operator or whatever, this woman that answers the phone, and I'm like, hey, this is my situation. Is there any volunteer firemen or anything or anyone that can help me? And basically, she's just talking to me like she thinks I'm stupid, is the best way to word it. And she's like, that's not part of their job. And the firemen that are on duty right now, that's not a requirement for their job for them, And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me in the back of my head, And I mean, you hear all the time, you see on the news and TV and shit like that, volunteer fireman, or volunteer, or not volunteer, but firefighter so-and-so or police officer so-and-so did this small act of kindness for this person, for that person. I mean, hell, they could have called the news crew out and been like, these firemen are coming and helping, carrying the last 5 pieces of furniture for this desperate single woman that is going through a lot because when her child was taken temporary custody of over a year ago, it devastated her and she battles depression. And so she doesn't have many friends to help her, so they're out here. I wouldn't have gave a shit to be on the goddamn news and let them fucking do that. Yeah, you want the credit for helping me because you're helping me? I'll give it to you. I ain't got no problem in that. I'm not going to sit here with my arms crossed and be like, you never helped me with anything. Oh my God, you're such a piece of shit. No, you helped me with this. It is what it is. But don't think that I'm going to sit there and kiss your ass either. Don't expect after that, if they would have done that, if they would have came out and it would have been, on the news or in the paper that they helped me and all that, then don't come to me like 8 months later and be like, asking me for something, to make you feel good or some shit or whatever or anything about yours. Like, we're done. We're even. I gave you your pat on the back publicly for the world to see, so there it is, so be happy. Shut up. That's just like, I've sat here in my videos and been like, yeah, my grandmother, when I was living at the apartment complex, she paid my rent probably about 4 or 5 times. My parents paid it like twice. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and fucking lie about shit. But there's your credit. There it is. I done told them thank you when they did it. End of subject, But anyways, so he's like, do that. I called, and this woman said that. And then I called the 3 nearest churches around me. Nobody answered the phone. Nobody ever called back. I called in the morning. Never heard back from anybody. And I was afraid to call the police department because, in all honesty, if I would have sat down and cried all day. I would have literally sat down and cried all fucking day because of being that upset and of being denied the help that I'm asking for. And it's pathetic when it's just 5 measly pieces of furniture and you can't get nobody to help you get that off a fucking truck. And literally all they have to do is walk it maybe 20 feet at the most. And all I could get help from was Eddie. And then Eddie, like I've stated, and I'm not saying this because like incapability or anything, but Eddie is epileptic. So what does that say about able-bodied, if you will, people? These people that pride themselves on, because there's people out there that put people like Eddie down, They're like, oh, damn this, oh, damn that. Not saying, Eddie, if you see this video, and anybody that I know of has said any fucking thing about you for as far as that situation or anything, negative and stuff. But just saying, I know. I see how society works. I see how it's all fucked up and shit. And I know. And so they sit there and they're like, oh, this damn person, oh, this damn shit, oh, this damn that. Well, they can't do this, they can't do that. Eddie, you proved them wrong. You proved them wrong, son. Like, seriously. Like, major props. You proved their ass wrong. You're sitting there, you're dealing with that shit your whole fucking life. You're having to take pills, you're having to be on a new medicine. You're having to, take this medicine daily to make sure you don't have seizures, all this shit. And you still got your ass out here and you fucking help me. So all these little pricks out here, all these big dick assholes that want to sit there and I'm a football player and I'm a fucking this and I'm fucking that and I'm strong man and hoorah and all that and everything. And, but a woman, me, just being like, hey, somebody help. And everybody, no. But here's the epileptic person that's like, yes, I'll help. So what does that say about people who are out there? That's the reason depression is on the rise. That's the reason shit like that has always been on the rise. Is because these people that get high up in everything and their ego, they let their ego guide them and everything. They don't do stuff for people. They don't know what it means to go out of their way to actually fucking help people. They know what it means whenever they're wanting people to go out of their way to help them. but they don't know what it means for them themselves to go out of their way to help people. It's fucking sickening. It's ridiculous as hell. It needs to fucking stop. That's the reason depression's on the rise, even though we have antidepressant medicines that people can take. And there's a TED Talk that even talks about it. And if you don't know what TED Talks are, it's dealing with like college. And it's, it's like these people that have studied and, and like it's these college talks and all this and everything. I mean, it's very educated conversations. I think that's kind of what it is to a degree. I know that's what it is to a degree, but there might be another way to go about explaining that, and I just don't know what it is, because I am a dumb redneck sometimes. But anyways, they are very educated, and they have several talks on depression, and one of them is that depression is pretty much built and put into us. It's not something you're born with. It's not something that just happens. It's what happens to you when you're sad, because we as human beings used to, back in the day when we were cave people, we stuck with our family. We had to see them 24/7. We had to fight for food and all kinds of stuff. It wasn't easy access. We had to actually work our ass off to get things. And so the reward was actually, getting what you wanted, but because you had to work so hard for it, you were happy. Well, now we're unappreciative little assholes that just think we should snap our fingers and get what we want. And then when we don't, then it sends us into this spiral and depression bullshit. Then people, the majority of people, because I believe everybody's suffering from some goddamn form of depression, they just can't fucking admit to it. So the majority of people that are not like me get depressed, and they're like, nobody loves me, nobody cares about me, because I can't snap my finger and have them do it. I can't snap my finger and say, hand me that glass of tea, and them do it, and boy, that just really upset me and hurt my feelings, and this and that, and so then they become manipulative, and they become vengeful and mean and all kinds of shit, trying to make sure that they get their way, but that they're getting it at the cheapest price that they can. That they don't have to put anything into the other person, anything into the relationship. They don't have to be nice to you. They can just snap their finger and you be right there for them. But the thing is they'll never be there for you like that. And believe me, I know, because I'm on that side of depression. Where it's like nobody ever does anything that I ask them to. That's just like, I actually, when me and Eddie, because the landlord called again, I got mad. We went and rode off, and we ended up at the Dollar General that's here where I'm at. And we're sitting there and everything. And at one point in time, I'm like, plug your ears, when we're sitting in the car. And he's like, you're fine. Because he knew what I was going to do. So I just screamed, And he's like, what is it? And I was like, just everything. And then you and my grandmother, y'all talk so much. And I was like, and she just talks about the same thing, And I'm like, and we've decided we're not getting a storage unit right now, so it is what it is, And right now we got the truck and we just got to get it cleared off, And I looked it up on my phone. I was like, how to politely tell people to be quiet. Like, because I done asked her that morning. I was like, okay, Mama. I was like, but the storage unit, you can't call them today. So don't worry about it today. Like, worry about the day that you have. Worry about what's in front of you right now. What can you do right now? Okay, right now the truck is here, and right now we need to get the stuff off the truck because we have to have it back by 5 p.m. We can't call the storage unit until tomorrow, so stop worrying about the storage unit right now. Live for the day and what's in front of you. And so she's like, okay, I won't talk about it no more. Before we left, because the landlord called and said what she did, and then my grandmother told me, and I was like, why did you even answer the phone? Why are you even talking to her? Like, what's the deal? Like, would you rather her come and live with you? Because if that's the case, I can hit the road right now. I'll call her up for you and be like, hey, she said she loves you more than me, so come move in with her. And even though, and see, I've said shit like that to my family, and they're like, Heather, we don't love them more than we love you. Okay, but why are you helping them to cause me more stress? Do you enjoy seeing me stressed out? Do you enjoy me having to live up under threats, even though they're threats that can't even exist and shit? Do you enjoy seeing me a nervous wreck? Do you enjoy upsetting me and helping them upset me? Like, can you just not do that right now? Because I don't do that to you. But anyways, so between the time that I was like, so can we just focus on today and focus on the truck and get the stuff off the truck? And she's like, yeah. And from that time to the landlord calling, she said it 4 more times about the storage unit. I kid you not. I was just like, 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 just hush, hush, hush about the storage unit. Please hush about the storage unit. And then every time that I've tried every way in the world to talk to her and be like, can you stop talking about this and stuff? Even when I've lived with her before, can you stop talking about this and stuff? She takes it as an insult. Just like they get on to me and they're like, like me being like that about the landlord. Oh, I guess you love the landlord more, so let her move in with you. Yeah, we don't mean that, and there's something wrong with you, because of me saying that. They don't understand what I'm getting at. And it's like, no, I'm not literally fucking meaning it. But Jesus Christ, you're helping her to stress me out by relaying any message that she gives you. If she calls you and says, I'm going to have her dogs shot, you don't have to sit there and tell me. You're older than me. You should have enough wisdom to know that she can't just call up a police officer and be like, hey, go shoot her dogs just because I don't like her. Or she made me mad, so go shoot her dog for me, Mr. Police Officer. Like, no, it don't work like that. Like, calm the fuck down. So you don't have to help her relay the message to me. And then when I say that, then they're like, well, fine, if she ever calls again and talks to me ever again, I don't care what she tells me, I'm never going to tell you anything. I mean, I've dealt with this bullshit with my family over and over and over again on repeat. And so anyways, whenever I've lived with my grandmother before and she's talked repetitively about something, I've got mad at her. Because I've tried every way in the world to be nice and be like, can we talk about that later? Or that's not happening today, so can we talk about it when it's happening? Can we not talk about it right now, please? I don't want to talk about it right now. Please. And so there's been times that I've got mad at her when I've been living here before, and I've been like, Mama, and I've been like, can you just hush about it? And she'd get mad, and she'd be like, oh, fine then, I guess I'll just hush about it. I'll hush about everything. And she'd get real smart with me, And I'd just be like, Lord God bless, And then she'd be like, well, I guess I won't talk to you no more because you don't like me talking to you about nothing. I don't like you talking to me about stuff that is worries. If you want to sit around and chew your nails off and worry yourself to death, go for it. But don't drag me on that goddamn train with you. I don't want to ride it. I've told the whole family that my whole damn life. I don't want to get on this little retarded, short worry bus, if you will, and ride it into town. No, I want to get on the relaxed bus, and the relaxed bus might have more wrecks, and might be more fucked up, or whatever in some way and case, but it's my choice. It's my decision. I don't want to sit here and worry and stress the way that they do about things and talk about it on end. Instead, I'd rather sit there and talk about my memories, my past, the good times. Or better yet, make a new good time, Like, Mama, you want to talk to me? How about you tell me stories about your past instead of worrying about the future? I'd rather listen to somebody tell me about their past any damn day versus listening to somebody worry about tomorrow or even right now. Pessimism and, just, procrastination. Like, I can't. And even though my family and everybody wants to try to get on my ass and be like, Heather, you're such a pessimist and you procrastinate everything, put an optimist in a room full of pessimists and lock them up there for 5 years with them and see what the hell happens to that damn optimist. They're going to lose their shit. They're going to procrastinate everything because they're going to be like nothing matters, because I constantly got somebody from every corner telling me how nothing matters. How nothing I do is any good. That's like, and in all honesty, my grandmother's probably awake in her bedroom listening to me right now because I'm a loudmouth, and she was just going to sleep whenever I started this. But I wanted to go ahead and shoot tonight's video and get it uploaded because there's this movie on I've never seen before, and I want to kind of get lost in it and watch it, even though I've missed the first half of it. But, there's these, it's like a part of a tree, I guess, that my cousins cut down, and they've left in my grandmother's yard back here. And I'm an idea person. I just, ideas. Oh, that'll work. This'll work. Oh, this'll work. That'll work. I'm very good at ideas, and I'm very good at doing things. But holy shit, not when I'm around a bunch of pessimists that are telling me, no, don't do it that way, and that's wrong, and that ain't gonna work. And then people being negative like that, I cannot stand when they're like, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. Well, at least I'm trying to find a solution to problems. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your days? But anyway, so there's these two big-ass chunks, if you will, of a fucking tree out here. Well, at the back side of her property, where the fence is that leads to the neighbor's yard, there's this huge, massive, like, hole up under one piece of it. And I got to looking and I thought to myself, now that damn piece of tree right there will literally fit here and block the hole. That way the dogs can never run up under there, because Una used to be really bad about that and getting in this one neighbor's property that has his yard fenced off, all except for that damn hole. And my grandmother has put these little baby metal, the little decorative wire pieces or whatever that they, look like a little fence. She's put them back here. And I'm thinking, okay, but that ain't going to keep my damn big ass dog out from back there, especially Una, and she knows where it's at. And I mean, I don't know how many times I grabbed her hind legs when she was a pup and yanked her back out from under that fence and was like, we don't go over there, because she went over there twice. The first time he was cussing, the guy was. The second time his wife was outside with him, and Una actually did get over there, and the woman had a dog herself, and I ran and got Una, and when I did, she's like, oh, they're fine. Oh, she's being so nice. She's being playful with my dog, and everything. But the guy was looking at me like it really pissed him off, And that was actually when we was out kind of back at the lake area before you get to both the fences or whatever. And so she was nice, but he wasn't. But anyway, so this tree piece, I got to looking and I was like, I bet you 10, if I roll that son of a bitch back here, which granted it's going to take me a while to do by my damn self. But again, where's my macho man, that's going to fucking help me with shit, And then Eddie, he'll help me, but I don't want Eddie to, you don't want to rely on people and be like, hey, always help me with everything. And that's when people get mad, is when you always, want their help for everything, so you got to be self-reliant. But anyway, so it's like, I bet you 10, though, if I get that son of a bitch back there and push it down, it's going to block that whole fence right there. That hole in the fence. Won't have to worry about it no more. Never have to think twice about it ever again. But I guarantee you, if I go to try to do it, my grandmother's going to be like, that ain't going to work, and all kinds of stuff, and why would you do that, and you can't do that by yourself, and well, what if this, and well, what if that, and all these worries and everything, because like I said, my family's just a bunch of pessimists. They're just very negative about the way that they see things and stuff. But I'm coming up on an hour on this video, so I'm going to let you go. I don't know if I'll be able to shoot a video tomorrow. I hope I can. I hope I get back on track for shooting my daily videos now, since everything's kind of done, but kind of not, because I still got a lot of shit to rearrange here and everything. And that's another thing too, is I was trying to stay there. That's the reason I left the animals there. I was trying to stay there. I was trying to pay this month's rent and just buy me an air mattress, sleep on an air mattress. That way I could still help Jen out, because she's like, who am I going to get to watch my kid during the summer? And so if I would have been there, then I would have been able to watch her kid during the summer. And not only that, I could have went ahead and had somebody kind of move in with me to a degree, but they're kind of helping with the rest of the months after this month. But it just didn't work out that way because of life, mainly. But mainly, the big reason is my landlord being like, hey, give me the keys. Hey, get out, get your animals out or they're going to get shot and you're going to go to prison, or jail or what the fuck ever. Like, so here I am. I moved out. I handed over the keys. And honey, if you watch this, and you probably will eventually at some point in time, don't ever contact me ever again. Don't. And you shouldn't be contacting my damn family neither. That is fucking harassment. But anyways, so I'm going to end this video. Anybody doing bad, you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger and I will chat with you and get back to you as soon as possible. I know what it's like to be depressed and sad and all that, and even though I battle it so bad myself that I'm still having to talk to people, I'm somebody that gets it. So if you are surrounded by people that just do not get it, or they get it but they're not going to admit to it, and they're going to sit there and lie and be like, I've never been depressed, I've never been sad, I've never been suicidal, I'm Little Miss Perfect, what are you talking about? That's what only insane people do, and I'm a sane, perfect person. Because I know, because that's the way my family is. They sit there and they bullshit and they lie and they act like they're fucking perfect and like they ain't never done a goddamn thing wrong. And so if you're alone because you feel like everybody around you's being on that shit and you need somebody that's going to keep it real and be like, no, I know what it's like to be that sad. I know what it's like to be that lonely. I know what it's like to be that depressed, that upset. You need somebody to talk to. You can hit me up on Facebook Messenger and I will respond as soon as possible. But since I'm still in the middle of all this right now, moving and shit and everything, it may be a few days. I would say no more than 5, though. But other than that, I hope you're doing good. Everybody take care. Keep putting your best foot forward. And I'll catch you later in tomorrow's video. Hopefully I'll shoot a video tomorrow. But anyways, I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye.